Thank you very much.
Now, government reps and business leaders have been in Accra all week at the African Development Bank annual meetings, but we expect them in London on the 5th of July for the African Risk and Compliance Summit, where they would seek to unlock the huge potential of African businesses and offer practical solutions to obstacles faced by investors. Chief Executive of Emerging Business Intelligence and Innovations Group, Adjoa Ejechum, joins me to talk investments in Africa and the risks. Good to have you on the program this afternoon. There's a lot going on around the world. We have an energy crisis. We have a food crisis. Cost of living has gone up. There's high cost of doing business. The World Bank even warning of a global recession. We just talked about climate change threats. With everything happening, why is Africa a good place to invest?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And Africa is still a good place to invest. With all the issues that you've mentioned, it's not unique to Africa alone. The whole world is facing crisis. The Ukraine-Russia situation has affected the whole world. Coronavirus has affected the whole world. But there are a lot of unique opportunities that Africa presents that the rest of the world do not present. And one of the, I'll mention three of them, and one of them is the fact that we have a 1.2 billion people, young people on the continent, and that is projected to reach 1.7 billion by 2030. To me, that is incredible opportunity for any investor looking at a continent to invest. We also have, there's research that shows that by 2050, we will have a quarter of the world's consumers where 60% of the population are under 25. So a quarter of the world consumers are going to be from Africa, and 60% of these consumers are going to be under 25. So again, that's a pool of young talent and entrepreneurs. So it's exciting. We also have the AFCFTA, the promise that it offers within the African continent. I think there's incredible opportunities there. And there's a research by Brookings institutions that says that by 2030, it is expected that the annual spending by African consumers and businesses will reach 6.66 trillion. So that, for me, that's very incredible opportunities on the continent for any business or investors looking to explore. Thank you.
What are some of the risks investors looking to doing business with emerging markets in Africa face? For instance, I was reading your piece which talks about compliance risks.
Yeah, I mean, there are risks that is faced in Africa, but again, these risks, a lot of the risk is also faced across the world. Some of the risk includes getting the right data to be able to make an informed decisions. It is a challenge across the African continent, but I believe that the problem is getting solved as with the increase of technology across the continent. But investors do face a challenge trying to get credible data from credible sources from across the continent. There's also issues around navigating the complex terrain of a highly diverse landscape. We have issues around language barriers, the culture. The culture is so diverse across the continent, and sometimes that could be a little bit of a hindrance to investors. And of course, there's also the inaccurate high-risk perception from global markets. A lot of the global market participants look at Africa as one country, although it's a continent. So where there's an issue in one country, sometimes the risk is perceived to be across the continent. So that's some of the things that the investors, some of the perception or risk issues that are faced across the continent. And there's also the instability in some countries in Africa somehow affects the whole continent. So those are, I would say, the risk that is facing investors have to deal with, or most times can make them a little bit uncomfortable when they think of doing business across the continent.
So then how can businesses put themselves in the position to attract investments? What kind of support can you offer, for instance, the Emerging Business Intelligence and Innovations Group?
So thank you. So we provide advisory support to businesses, to investors, to banks, central banks. We also connect. One of our biggest strengths is connectors. We connect experts to clients. So experts on the continent of Africa to clients within this part of the world. We also provide compliance training and consulting. We work very closely also with the University of Oxford in supporting organizations in this area as well. And we have strategic partners. So we have strategic partners in the area of the legal sector, as well as investment advisory firms that can support these clients, the market participants in this part of the world and also in Africa, to be able to interact successfully. Thank you.
And so the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is expected to be in London for the Africa Investment Risk and Compliance Summit. That's on the 5th of July. I bet expectations are high.
Absolutely. We are very excited. All roads are leading to London on the 5th of July for the Africa Investment Risk and Compliance Summit. We've got, as you said, the Vice President, His Excellency Bawumia will be joining us in person. We've also got the President of Sierra Leone. He's joining us with about 5 of his ministers. We've got the UK Minister for Africa. We've got Dr. Mo Ibrahim, Sherry Blair, the head of the Oxford University, the Group CEO of Zenith Bank, Group CEO of EcoBank, and many more other business leaders across the continent of Africa, but also from representative from the UN, representative from the UK government, and also within Europe. So we are very excited, looking forward to it. And the summit will provide transformative conversations, insights into major policy shifts, which we should all be expecting to participate, as well as discussions around investment trends and opportunities, and how do we then mitigate the risk that is associated with investment opportunities across the African continent.
And thanks for sharing your perspective on investing in Africa. We appreciate your time, Adjoa J. Chum, CEO of the EBI Group.